This late in the season, I just can't believe how clear this sap is. There's a little bark in there, but this sap is still crystal clear. These bags have gotta be some of the worst ones to collect up and down the ravine 5 times. Looks like we got another leak here. Squirrels must have really been busy on us. Yeah, this one's got, that might have just been from bark rubbing on the bag. We'll get it changed out here. Only one time this season I fell in the water trying to collect this bag. But it's a really good tree, so it's worth a wet foot. Well, we got about another 40 gallons in here. We got our head tank pumped full. So we're gonna go call a few people, get the boys over to the shack and start cooking some syrup, making some steam. End of the season, 4 days left. Clock is ticking. See you guys at the shack. Welcome back. Come on in, we're making some steam. We fired up about 20 minutes ago. We've already taken off right about 2 gallons, gallon and a half, 2 gallons of finished syrup. We started with a very sweet pan. You can see the color in there. There's a lot of syrup in there, just about ready to come off. We'll add a little more wood here and probably have a draw here again in about 2 or 3 minutes. when we add our wood, we try to crisscross our wood the best we can. Sometimes it falls out the door. If you stack it in there, you don't get air flowing through your wood. Slows your boil down quite a bit. Try to fill every air void you can. Hit our blower and our boil will come back in just a second. So today we collected right around 100 gallons with the 2x4 hybrid pan here from Smoky Lake. It'll go through about 30-35 gallons an hour with the drop flues in the back. And you can see on the thermometer on the wall there, we like to run it hot. So we're not even going to utilize our reverse osmosis today. With the 100 gallons that we have today, if we ran it through the RO, by the time we fired it up and it got up to temperature, we'd be pretty much shutting down. So we're just going to make some steam and run it raw saps. We'll probably boil for 3 hours. And with the syrup we've already taken off, we'll probably end up filling this pot by the end of the 3 hours. Yesterday, as we were boiling, we had 10 gallons of sweet that we added back through the pan, and we got about 7 of that back yesterday, so the pan is very sweet. So we'll be taking syrup off rather quick. I do have to admit, with the 5 gallons of sap that we pumped on the ground in the woods, and between the squirrel chews, we're probably down 15 gallons of sap today, so kind of a sad day. So here, our hydrometer is floating at 59. You can see here on the dial we want just over 59. It actually came up a little bit, so we are at finished syrup right now. Murphy compensation cup from Smoky Lake. If you don't have one, you need to get one. That's the only way to accurately test your syrup. With the thermometer in the hot syrup tells you exactly the bricks you need to float at. We're actually taking it off. This will be about a point heavy. So that way, once we warm this pot up to filter it and bottle it, we don't have to boil it anymore. We'll just have to add a little bit of distilled water filter it, and it's ready to go. If you look at this dial over here, the barometric pressure is a little bit high today. So we're actually taking it off at right about 10, 10 and a half. Some days it's at 7, some days at 9. 7 is the boiling temp of water. On most days, barometric pressure will fluctuate your boiling temperature. So here we're going to do a little test on what we've drawn off already. See if it's probably a little bit heavy. If it is, we can just add a little bit more that's not completely finished yet. And if you're going to test like this, do yourself a favor and get a hydrometer cup with a big handle. We had one with a little tiny handle, and you burn your knuckles every time you stick them in there. So here you can see we're plenty heavy. We want to be just under 62, and we're at 63. So that's all right. We can just open the valve, take a little bit more off. Try to make it as close to right on as you can by the time you're done boiling. So there we brought it down. Now we want 61.5 on our guile, and we are right at 62. So that's perfect. We can finish the rest of that in our filtering and bottling process. So much easier to take it off a little heavy versus boiling it again later. It's just a waste of time, and when you have a lot to bottle and filter at one time, it really adds to the process.